Alright, welcome to another video. I got some more stuff for you guys. In the last video, we created a flame trap that we can walk on, and our character can trip, and it will play the fire animation, the active animation. We're going to add some health to our character and make it where he actually reacts to touching the fire. That's what we're going to work on today. Okay, let's go to our character. Here he is. And I'm going to add a visual representation of how much health he actually has. Now, you would think, oh, we're going to add a health bar. We're just going to add something even simpler than that. I'm going to add a label that tells us how much health he has. Click on Alien Bones, click the Add button, and I want you to do Label. I want to create a label. I'm going to pull this label up to the top here. And for the label, I'm going to say Health, and I'm going to put 100 at the top. That's kind of small, so I'm going to come down to Rect. Go to Rect, and for scale I'll do 2:2. So there is my character's health. Alright, now when he walks around the scene, he should have this little floating health above his head. When it flips crazy, but we'll deal with that. So there we go. He's got health. Alright, now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to give him an actual number and update that health based upon when he takes damage. So I'm going to go to the Alien Bones script, and at the top I'm going to give him some health. So I'm going to say var health is equal to, let's do 50 to start with, just so we can verify that this is working. So now he has 50 health, and I need to update this label. I'm going to even change the label's name. I'm going to say health label. Let's do health label. Alright. We need to get access to that node. So I'm going to say on ready var health label is equal to get node, and the node that I want to get a hold of is that health label. Alright, let's set the health number, and let's make a function that can actually set the health number. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say function. Let's call this set health label. And I'll say pass. Alright, when we set health label, let's send it a value. The value I'm going to use is C health. I should do C health like that. I don't know. C health is for current health. Alright. Current health. Alright, to actually add some text to this, what we have to do to actually change the text, if you come back over here to the health label, and you scroll up to the top, it says text. If you hover over that, it says text. That means if you want to edit the text of that label, you need to use text. So for the health label, all I want the health to say is health label dot text is equal to, and then this is probably going to be a number. And if you remember anything that I've said before, that when you want to print something out on the screen, it can't be just a number, it needs to be a string. So to be on the safe side, we're going to convert this C health into a string. So I'm going to say str C health. So there's that. We're going to send it a number right there. My phone went off. Sorry about that. So C health, string C health. And in front of this label, I have the word health with a colon there. So to keep that same format, I'm going to say health colon plus. So there we go. So health label.text is equal to health plus this number. All right. So that function, this function right here, is going to change the label of our character's health. All right, so there's that. Now, I want to set his health at the start anytime he's created, so I need to get access to the ready function. So some of you might already have it. There's my ready function. And I'm going to call this function that I just created. So I'm going to grab this whole function here. And I'll set his health to whatever our health currently is at the start. So right there it says C health. This is the argument. Whenever we call this function, it needs a number to send to it so it can use to do this little calculation that we made right here. So we're going to use the health. So it should say 50 now. All right. I saved that, and let's go ahead and play it and see if it changes the health to 50. And there it is. It says 50. All right, so now anytime we want the health to change, we can call this label and send it a new health value. So let's just test that with... Ooh, it looks like we have a hurt function. I don't know if you already have a hurt function or not. You might. Let's see, does this work? Where's the hurt function? Hurt. Ooh, right there, hurt. So I've already got a function for getting hurt. Let's see if that works. So I'm going to go, you know what? I don't think I made that with you online people yet. That's okay. I'll come back and do that, I think. Let me pause this and see if I made that function with y'all. All right, I pulled up my videos and I see that I did not make a hurt function with the online people. So I'm going to have to go back and do this with you guys. I don't know. Pretty much we made a function called hurt. Function hurt, and we made it call from a different animation player the hurt function. For now, we'll just here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say if input dot is action just pressed, and I'll use the number 1. And what I want to do when I push the number 1 is I want to take the person's health and I want to just take away minus equals 1 point. So ignore this damage function here. We're going to look at this one right here. Health. So we want to say if you push the number 1, take away 1 from health. So whatever his health was, take away 1. And then I want to play this exact function right here. So at the start, his health would have been 50. We'll push the button one time, and it'll make his health 49. And so it's going to make it 49, and then it's going to call the function and send it the number 49. Then it's going to jump down here to this function, and it's going to say, okay, health changed. So I'm going to do health has changed to 49. All right, let's play this. So now every time I press that button, his health should go down by 1 point. Looking good. So I use the just press function so I can't hold it down. And you'll also notice that his health will be able to go into the negatives. Okay, perfect. So this is a really simple way to turn down his health. Okay, now this is I usually do this part right here for testing purposes. We just tested this and it worked, right? It worked real simple, pushing the button, it took his health down. So what I'm going to do is I don't want to press a button and lower his health. I want to call a function. I want the fire, whenever he touches it, to call the function and give him some damage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new function. I'm going to say function damage. And then here I'm going to give it a certain number. I'll say damage of X. Maybe I should say DMG. That could be the amount of damage he takes. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same thing that we did here. We're going to say his health minus equals whatever the damage was. Okay, so it says health minus equals damage. So health, subtract some damage from the player's health. Okay, and then what did we do next? We said set the health label, and we put the health back. Alright, so that'll change the actual label. So I'll say update the health label, like so. I'm going to come back up here and I'm going to get rid of this function here. I don't need it anymore. I know it's working. Alright, so now I have a function. This function is called by other objects to deal damage to the player. Okay, so if you want to give my little alien some damage, you need to say call the damage function and send it some damage. Okay, so here's how we're going to do that. First off, you need to pay attention how this function is spelled, to how that function is spelled. This function is spelled with a capital D, and it needs an argument. It needs a number, some type of number, because if you don't give it a number, it's going to try to subtract a word or something from this, and it's going to cause an error. So it needs a correct spelling of the function, and it needs a number. All right, let's go back to our fire trap that we were working on the other day, or the last video. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here and I'm going to look at this. Here's our function. Well, what happens whenever we walk into the fire? Well, here's the area entered. I'm going to say, I can even make a note here. This happens when the player touches the trap. In the event that the player touches the trap, we want to call the function active. There's active. And let's send active who touched it. So I'm going to say active, this person decided to touch you. So body. Now active right now is not accepting any argument. So let's accept an argument from that guy. Let's say this is the let's just say object, I guess, obj. Alright, so in the event that something touches us, we're going to turn on the function active. We're going to tell it who touched us. So we sent it that information. There it is. And we say, okay, somebody touched us. We need to play the active function. And we need to take object. And we need to deal some damage to it. So we're going to call the damage function. Now this is the function that is on the alien bones. This is this same function right there. We're calling that function right there. So we need to spell it correctly. Damage, capital D, and I can send it just 1 to start with. I'll say damage 1. Kids are screaming. All right, let's play this again and see if this works. So we'll see if we crash. I don't know. Mr. Eversole hasn't done this yet, so we're going to try it out. So I'm going to walk into this fire. We touch it, and do you see our health went down by 1? We're going to do it again. Down by 1 again, and so on and so forth. So now anytime we touch this fire, the first thing it does is it says, hey, somebody touched me. Was it the correct person? If it was the correct person, call the function active. So active is here. We tell it who touched it, and we say play the active function. Let me write these comments. Play the active function, and then send some damage. Send some damage like that. Now, right now, the current damage of the fire is just 1 because I typed the number 1 there. I'm going to come up to the top here, and I'm going to say var damage, I think I spelled that right, is equal to 1. Okay, so now, instead of just typing a physical 1 in there, I'm going to put the actual variable. So anytime I want to change how much damage that the fire trap does, I'll change it at the top. This is just good practice. You don't want to go through your code and change a whole bunch of different spots to 1. Alright, so now this is the same thing that we just had. So now if our alien touches this, oops, wrong scene. I'm going to play my test world. He's going to walk into it, and he'll receive 1 damage every time he touches it. And the fire will play. We'll deal with the flipping thing here in a minute. This was just to verify that this is actually working. We're going to actually add a health bar onto the character. Alright, that works. Excellent. Alright, I will see you guys in the next video. You know, the next video will probably be doing that hurt animation that we made. Alright, have a good day. I'll see y'all in the next one.